Peace. Welcome to Michaela's World.
No one can control.
So it's like the end of 2020, and this is the first book that I have completed all year, although I was giving myself the challenge to read a book per month. So let's give it up for me for actually completing the book the last month of the year. That sounds about right? Anywho, we're doing a review today on a book called Polysecure. It is by Jessica Fern. She is a psychotherapist, a relationship and trauma specialist, and she has decided to do something that I appreciate, because I'm one of those relationship people. Like, I'm very invested and interested in how like humans get along and how we are supposed to have relationships versus how we actually have relationships, and what really works versus what don't work. And a lot of times the status quo, it don't work. Disclaimer, I am not trying to persuade anybody. These are my opinions. And you know, while this might be slightly controversial, it's really not that controversial, because at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we're all in relationships. So this book is relevant regardless of what you think, feel, or believe. And if you want to be in my business, don't do that either, because it's none of your business. But this book is a solid read. So that brings me to my first, the question is the book good or bad? The book is good. The book is good. I'm going to say that. I have notes here. The book is good. I'm sticking to my notes. This is a solid self-reflection relationship book. I don't care what your orientation is. I don't care if you're poly or monogamous. You should probably read this book just for clarity. The world is changing, yet the world is staying the same. People have been polyamorous since the beginning of time. It's time for us to expand and think about how to have solutions for all people, not just the people who are like you. And so there's a great segue into the next part. Who is this book for? So I would say this book is for anybody that wants to better themselves, deepen their relationships, and understanding of relationships in general. And also you can put that little asterisk on there for people who are looking for healthy ways to have non-monogamous relationships, and for people who are interested in psychology. I do think that is that's important. If this is something you're kind of into, I think that it would make it an easier read, which is my next category. Is it an easy read? I would say yes. Yes, it's an easy read. If you have an interest in relationships, you have a relationship in self-help, and if you have an interest in psychology, I would say yes, this would be an easy read. If you have absolutely positively no interest in any of those things, this might not be the book for you. What is it about, huh? Don't look at my towels on the floor. I'm doing laundry. I appreciate that she broke it down in 3 parts. She kind of gives you that scientific, texty stuff in the beginning, talking about attachment styles, which I'm not going to go into. However, comment down below if you do want me to break this book down, because I have pages of notes on this book. If you want me to break down Polysecure, I can break down Polysecure, from my perspective. So she talks about attachment styles, and then also this nested model of attachment, and that is deep. It's deep. It's worth looking at, guys. Like, just looking at all of the different layers of what surrounds how we inform ourselves and express ourselves as it pertains to attachment and relationships. So I thought that was a really, having these foundational models helps you to understand the content. Part two was mostly dedicated to talking about consensual non-monogamy, meaning everybody involved knows what's going on. Ain't nobody out here lying, cheating, and playing games. And she's giving definitions of different terms. She's putting language to emotion, feelings, and happenings in these polyamorous relationships. And Yeah, I think that that's really important for anybody that's living in the world today, to have language to put to their emotions. Like, if you can't talk about it, then it's kind of hard to express. And if it's hard to express, then people don't know what's going on with you. And then we have problems like we have today. Also, part 2 covers like these waves, like the ebb and flow of relationships, especially when you're dealing with multiple people. That's kind of how I took it. And then also how attachment styles work in non-monogamous relationships. So I just kind of like wrote down some words to kind of summarize what was going on, because there's a lot going on in that section. So talking about primal instincts, boundaries, expectations, flexibility, social status. That is something that I really hadn't even like gnawed on enough. Like, how do people treat you in society based off of your marital status, and then don't let you have multiples? Like, you're going to be treated differently, more than likely. There's privilege in marriage, and that is why people are still trying to hold on to it so much. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with marriage. I'm just saying that we know that society values marriage on paper, because emotionally that's why people are trying to figure out how to expand and make their relationships blossom in ways that, you know, the status quo and the norm are just not allowing for. The third portion is dedicated solely and totally to self-love and attachment, healthy attachment styles with yourself, so that they can like rub off on your relationships and you can be just a better person in general, and then you can attract better people. And then there's also like these steps for growth and maturation as a human being that's trying to be in a relationship, right? My notes are all over the place because I had to take notes from notes. So yeah, like I said, if you want more information on this book, if you want me to break some of this stuff down, I will, because I got the notes. Just let me know. All right, last part of the review. What did I learn? So let me go back a little bit, because there were some things that stood out, which was orientation versus lifestyle. I'm gonna kind of leave these things open-ended. We can talk about it in the comment section, but she's presenting non-monogamy as either a lifestyle choice or a natural orientation. Like, some people naturally gravitate towards liking women, some gravitate towards liking men, some gravitate towards liking both. Some people gravitate naturally towards non-monogamy, and we might need to start thinking about how to normalize that versus shunning people when there could be big love versus small love, or no love, or cheating love, or deceptive love, or, you know, just trash love. The love that we see around us typically. I like that she built in caveats. She literally called it a caveat. So while she's outlining these theories and models and styles and all of this stuff, she's like, don't become your style. Like, don't label yourself like, I am dismissive, avoidant. Like, you can't do that to yourself, and you can't box other people in like that, because there's just so many different variations of how a person shows up, period. I mean, you can have a majority way that you are, but to just say that this is just how you are, and this is how you deal with relationships, and this is why I am the way, like. And so the other caveat was, do not blame your parents for everything, because there are so many other factors that go into your attachment styles. It's not just your primary caregivers, interactions with you or lack thereof, that make you the way that you are in your relationship. So I appreciated the caveat, because people, I know, because I've done it before, like, you start getting verbiage and you start getting like information about something, and then it's just like, I'm either or. No. That is a very immature way of looking at things. You are not either or. You are a variation of a lot of things that shows up in dynamic ways in your life, and so is every other person in this world. I learned a lot about myself through reading this book. I think it came right on time. It was introduced to me by someone who is practicing polyamory, so I shout out to him, chickie. And it was kind of giving me context to some themes that have been presented in my life, so I appreciate that. once again, like having words, putting words to some of these things that I know of, or that like the structures and how there's like names and terminology and stuff that goes along with this, that like be like that's your girl that was with your girl that was over there, and that's your girlfriend. Like, it's more to it than that. It's not, I'm not explaining this well. Of course, it poses questions. It's got you thinking. Like, is this your lifestyle or your orientation? What does love look like during trauma and after trauma? Like, there's life after trauma. There is love during trauma as well. And I think that she does a good job of showing that there are ways that you can work through anything. It's not to say throw love away just because it's complicated. We're complicated. Of course, love is going to be complicated. She also notes that it doesn't always have to be about love. Like, relationships serve so many different purposes. The whole idea is that everybody is on the same page about the purposes that they're serving. Like, the issue that I see a lot of the times is that somebody's on one page in one book and somebody else is on another page in another book, and then the other person is definitely on another planet. In the end, she mentioned something about relational versus structural security, and I feel like this book and life in general 2020 should have shown you that your relational security is really what holds you. Like, your relationship to God, your relationship with your family, your friends, your lovers, whatever the case may be, your dog, the things that really ground you and make you know that you're still a real autonomous thing. That's one thing, versus this society, which can always change, always shift. And we are seeing that before our eyes now. So it's like, this where I stand on that. Structural security is needed. Like, we need structures and foundational pieces to kind of hold us together. I'm trying to not stumble upon my words, but I stumble upon them at all times. So that's just who I am. Long story short, we need structure in society. However, that's really not what's important, because at the end of the day, when it all falls down, who you gonna call? You gonna call your mama them. You gonna call your cousin them. You gonna call your friends. You gonna call your sister, your family, your dog, somebody that you know gonna be there for you. And the government is not that thing. Your job, them folks don't really care about you like that. So, like, that's what I took from that. But, maybe I am looking too deeply into something, or not deep enough. To me, although this is as old as time, it is also new in the sense that we are having people speak about it in a more accepting way, speak about different types of ways to interact with one another, and actually finding the most healthy way to do it. I think that that's what's important, and that's what I got from the book. That's what I learned from the book, is that you can expand your horizons. You can expand your horizons. You can expand your love circle, and it can be healthy. It can be whole. It can be solid. It actually lends for the most flexibility and growth, because you have to be a very solid individual to deal with multiple people intimately. So, and effectively. Like, you could be par, not that good at it. You could be pretty trash at it, and that's not the goal here. We're trying to be great at whatever we do, right? So this book will help you be great if you're dealing with one person, two people, or three, or four, or five. So yeah, guys, that's my review on Polysecure by Jessica Fern. The book was less than 300 pages. I appreciated that too. And she dropped a lot of gems as far as like other books that I would be interested in reading, like for real. So like I said, if you are feeling this review, give me a thumbs up. If you're feeling the poly lifestyle, give me a thumbs up. If you're just feeling psychology, self-help, anything that's in the realm of what this book is about, give me a thumbs up. If you just like me, you can give me a thumbs up. And please subscribe, guys. Like, I am really trying to do better and be great on YouTube. So if you could support me, share my videos, give me some book suggestions, give me some TV show suggestions. Like, I want to do reviews on things that I actually like and enjoy. So Looking forward to seeing y'all in the next video with another review. Until next time, big peace. Bye.